might not be possible under like a traditional district system? What's an activity or something like that can take place there?
I don't know that it's necessarily an activity, but one thing that I noticed is that we can make change happen very quickly. In a traditional public school, I'll give you an example of a textbook adoption. We adopted a specific math program when we opened the elementary school. Well, within a year after using that, we decided it was not effective and not meeting the needs of our students. So rather than go through a lengthy textbook adoption process, which would have required in a traditional public school district that we wait 3 to 5 years till it cycled back around and was the turn for math to be adopted, we could get vendors in, look at materials, look at our curriculum, look at the Missouri grade level expectations, and then select a new textbook series or a new way of instructing students in math that would meet the needs of our students. So at a charter school level versus a traditional public school district, change can happen very, very quickly. So that's one thing that's been terrific from my perspective as an administrator, and from the teacher's perspective, when we get so much input from our classroom teachers and from our building administrators. We have 5 principals that work with our specific schools within our building, and they have incredible input, which oftentimes isn't seen in a traditional public school.
Doug, I'm going to ask you the same question because I know in your life previous to NACSA, you helped start a charter school and led that school. So maybe the same question to you.
Yeah. Prior to my work in charter schools, I spent 14 years working in the Melville School District, which were great years and hold Melville in the highest regard. Then I had the opportunity to open St. Louis Charter School in 2000. And St. Louis Charter School, if you're not familiar, is located on the hill. It's on Filer Avenue, and I'm happy to report is doing very, very well. I completely agree with Sherry and what you identified as the way you can make change happen quickly. We also found in working as a charter school that my teachers were able to have a lot more input and be extremely involved in the decision making that took place at the school. And because our finances were tied only to one school, they were just tied to St. Louis Charter School, we could make decisions that impacted each student in their classroom. We weren't making district-wide decisions that may eventually have a trickle-down effect on students in an elementary school on the other side of the district. We were making decisions that were going to impact and quickly impact each of those kids. The other piece that my teachers enjoyed and that I felt was very important was you were as good as the day you had. And so teachers came into their role as a classroom teacher at a charter school willing to take on a greater level of accountability and willing to be held responsible for the work they did. And it was not a matter of 2 or 3 years of working hard as a new teacher and then kind of turning it over to let the other new teachers take care of things, and I'm just going to come in and do my job and go home each day and not remain as invested. So teachers were really committed to what the work that they did and to getting to know their students and understanding their students and working towards their academic progress, and didn't mind being held accountable for that and wanted to be held accountable for that.
Yeah, sure.
Something Doug said reminded me of another very distinct difference in charter schools and traditional public schools. And we, at our charter school, we have no teacher contracts. There is no pay for seniority. There is no salary schedule. Every employee from my position down as an employee at will may be dismissed with 2 weeks' notice. So they are as good as the day they have. We also have instituted a pay for performance system. So our teachers receive bonuses very similar to a business model based on meeting specific goals and criteria that's set with them and for them, and can receive, I think the highest bonus that was paid out this past year was $7,000. So they can receive a substantial amount of money for improving student achievement, meeting attendance goals, meeting parent involvement goals, And that is very, very different than a traditional